Jason, you had a very impressive 2022 racing season. You had 11 top 10s and 12 starts, and finishing the season 4th in the point standings. But as a driver, how do you think your season went?
I was pleasantly surprised, I guess. You kind of go into each season with a few different goals, and I was just trying to be consistent and get into the top 5 a couple of times, and I more than achieved that. So I was pretty excited. As a driver, you always want more. You want to be finishing better. You're never happy until you're P1, but yeah, I was happy.
You've been racing for several years now, but 2022 was by far your best season behind the wheel. Where did this speed come from?
A lot of it was honestly being willing to try different things with the setup. I in the past kind of stuck pretty close to what I knew, but that obviously wasn't getting me where I needed to go. I started throwing a couple of big things at the car at the beginning of the season. Like you mentioned, the one night that I did finish out of the top 10, I took a big whack at something and it really didn't work. But that's how you learn lessons. After that, we just kind of kept trying a few different things every week here and there, and it went really well. So.
A lot of race car drivers get their start in racing through family or friends, but what led you to the racetrack and later behind the wheel?
So dirt track racing is all Brad Cadmus's fault. He bought a car many years ago to finish out a season, and it wasn't the best car, but it got him through the rest of the year. When he upgraded in that off season, he offered me the car for a decent price, and I told him no. And he offered it to me for a really cheap price, and I told him no. And he offered it to me for a ridiculously cheap price, and I finally caved in. And I think that was 11 or 12 years ago, and here we are still doing it.
Your daughter, who is probably your biggest fan, loves hanging out at the shop with you working on the car. Could we potentially see a second-generation race car driver in the Meidinger clan?
We might. I don't want to push her into it and be a little league dad, but if she shows an interest in it, I'd be happy to help her pursue that.
Well, racing season is just around the corner. What are you currently working on to get ready for the opening night?
We're just freshening the car over the winter, kind of take off everything that moves, clean it, inspect it, replace it if we need to, make sure everything is prepped and ready to go. I kind of tell everybody I blow the car apart in the winter because I hate working on it during the week in the summer. So if it has the potential to break, come loose, leak, it comes off the car and we just change it now while we have time. So.
You had one heck of a season last year. What are your goals for the 2023 racing season?
I think just hoping to be in the top 5 a little more often. We had quite a few top 5s last year, but the best was a 4th place. I'd like to get into the podium steps for sure, and getting the win would be awesome. But we'll see what happens.
What racetracks or big racing shows might race fans find you at this year?
Probably going to have a pretty limited schedule again this year. Don't get over to Jamestown much anymore. If the season goes really well this year, we might take another whack at the Stampede because it's been a couple of years since I've been over there again. I try and get over there every so often for that, just because it's an experience. It's something, even if you don't make the show, just being around all the cars and the party and the fans is just so much fun.
And who do you have to thank that helps keep this racing program moving?
Thank my sponsors first, Ben's Electric, Robbie's Repair, and Aspire Homes. Also want to thank Elise for helping me out, getting the car washed and ready to go every week. Thank my dad, my brother, and my nephew for coming and helping me out at the racetrack every week. Just having somebody to help you out with the menial stuff like tires and scraping mud and cleaning a radiator out is nice to have, so it's always appreciated.